Hello and welcome to Study with Sudhir, your digital classroom. We are looking at William Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice, which is part of the ICSE Class 10 syllabus. We are looking at the all-important trial scene. We have done 4 parts so far and we are at the last and concluding part of our video analysis on the trial scene, which is Act 4, Scene 1, the longest scene in this particular play. Which is why we have done it in a very comprehensive manner, and I hope all your students are very clear about every line, every nuance, every theme that is running through this particular scene in the context of the entire play. Okay, any doubts, write in the comment section, but I would expect most of you are able to kind of after listening to the video analysis, go through the book. It will be more than clear. If you look at each of the sentences, underline thing, it's all about identifying it correctly and placing it in the right context. Okay, now let's come to the last part, the last 3 pages of this particular scene. Shylock has exited from the scene, a broken man, because the tables were completely turned on him by Portia. He found himself to be a complete loser at the end of this trial scene. So also when you're writing about the trial scene, you need to bring out the contrast, how Shylock was at the beginning of the trial scene, you know, confident, coming with a hat and a scales and a knife, and towards the end of the trial scene where he exits having lost everything that he had. You know, so you need to bring out the dramatic transformation in the life of Shylock through this particular trial scene in the court of the Duke. Okay, now Gratiano reacts as soon as Shylock exits that particular court. Shylock says, "In christening shalt thou have 2 godfathers. Had I been judge, thou should have 10 more, to bring 3 to the gallows, not to the font." Now this is again a reference to Christianity, because what happens is that when you are baptized into the Christian faith, you are supposed to have 2 sponsors to stand for him. That is, 2 people, 2 godfathers who will be responsible to see that the person who is baptized grows up to become a good Christian. But Gratiano says that if I were the judge, I would actually add 10 more people. And he is referring to the jury of 12 people who will pronounce him to be a criminal. So Gratiano is continuing to, so far he was taunting him, but now he is almost like, cursing him with something extremely negative. So he says that the jury of 12 godfathers, will kind of pronounce this kind of a judgment on him. The font, he says, to bring thee to the gallows, that is, he will be hanged, not to the font. Now what is a font? A font is a bowl on a raised platform containing holy water for the ceremony of baptism. But he says that instead of taking him to the font, he will be taken to the gallows if I were the judge, had I been judge. Duke is the Duke is kind of inviting Portia to his house to have dinner, because now the entire trial is over. All that is done. Now Portia's lines here are important. Now how does Portia respond to both Bassanio and Antonio, because they have expressed their gratitude towards Portia for saving Antonio's life from Shylock's clutches. Portia says, "He is well paid that is well satisfied, and I delivering you am satisfied, and therein do account myself well paid. My mind was never yet more mercenary. I pray thee know me when we meet again. I wish you well, and so I take my leave." So because both Bassanio and Antonio obviously want to pay Balthazar, who they don't know that it is Portia, for whatever services have been rendered, the legal skills that Portia has exhibited inside the court. Portia's reply is that she is quite happy with what has been done, that she has done her job, so she doesn't really expect anything else, so she wants to bid farewell. And Bassanio says that, I still insist that, you should not refuse this request, and also same time forgive his persistence. And Portia says that in case if you are really pressing me so far, so strongly that she cannot refuse, she will accept the gloves he is carrying and wear them in remembrance of him. Give me your gloves, I'll wear them for your sake, to Bassanio, and I will take this ring from you. So from Antonio she asks for the gloves, and to Bassanio she says, "You give me your ring, do not draw back your hand, I will take no more, and you in love shall not deny me this." So she's asking him for the ring that has been given to Bassanio by Portia. Okay. Bassanio's reaction is he immediately draws back his hand and is obviously unwilling to part with his ring. He tells Portia that his ring is far from valuable. He cannot think of allowing her to accept such a paltry gift. So again a bit of comedy. So he is trying to say that it's a paltry gift, so I cannot think of even giving you this particular ring. So Portia says that she does not wish for anything else except that particular ring and she feels that she must have it. Bassanio says that he does not hesitate merely because of the worth of the ring. The ring means more to him than its actual value. It's not the value of the ring. It is the value of the ring is actually much more than its real monetary value. He will send a proclamation throughout the whole city of Venice and discover the most valuable ring, and then that can be presented to this young lawyer. But as far as this particular ring is concerned, do not force me to give this particular ring to you. So when Bassanio continues to refuse to give the ring, at which point in time Portia says that when Portia tells him slowly that you make promises very openly, but when she asks for something, he refuses to give it, and he basically now he teaches her how a beggar should be treated. So she kind of pretends to be offended by the reaction of Bassanio. Then Bassanio tells Portia that, see, it was given to me by my wife, and when she placed it on his finger, she made him swear that he will never sell it, give it or lose it. Okay. Portia says that many a man who does not want to give a present gives this particular reason as the reason for refusing that. And if your wife be not a mad woman and know how well I have deserved the ring, she would not hold out enemy forever for giving it to me. Well, peace be with you. Karke, Portia and Nerissa exit that particular scene. So basically she is saying that if she is a sensible person and understands what Portia, dressed as the lawyer, has done to save the life of Antonio, she will actually relent and allow him to give the ring to the lawyer, but she will not be angry for long with him for giving the ring, that is the wife. And Portia wishes him a peaceful farewell and she and Nerissa leave. Antonio tells Bassanio, and this Antonio's lines are important, it came in the 2018 board paper. My lord Bassanio, let him have the ring, let his deserving and my love withal be valued against your wife's commandment. So basically says that what let his deservings means what he deserves, and my love withal, that is, and my love as well. So Antonio tells Bassanio that he should let Portia have the ring. He tells him that the promise he made to his wife will be outweighed by this occasion by Portia's legal acumen and merits and by the love that he bears towards Antonio. So he kind of says that he should give the ring to Portia. Bassanio obviously feels that he cannot refuse anything that his friend Antonio has suggested. So then he sends Gratiano behind Portia with the ring and he says that go and give this particular ring to Portia. Okay, so that's how this particular scene ends. This is an important scene, so you need to understand each and every aspect of this ring. So we have talked about the theme of revenge, that though Bassanio is willing to, and there are two themes. One is of course the theme of revenge. There is also the theme of the passion for money. In this particular case, the passion for money was overweighed by the theme of revenge as far as Shylock was concerned. But the moment he realized that he is going to be a loser, he tried to reason it out and take the money and get out of the scene. But obviously Portia did not allow him to do so. What does the scene reveal about Portia, who is really the central character of this particular scene? That she is a smart lawyer. She also believes in mercy, and that entire speech that she gave on mercy, which is very important from the examination point of view, I must insist, shows her character, that she is someone who believes in the ability to forgive someone and to be a better human being. Also, she is smart and she wants to test Bassanio, which is why she asks him for this particular ring and see whether he is really willing to willing to give it up. And this is also a kind of, it's a setting by William Shakespeare for the final ring scene in Act 5, which is also be a little comical in order to give some kind of a light-hearted touch to this entire play, because it's essentially at the end of the day a comedy. What does it reveal about Antonio? That at the beginning of the scene, he was very listless, he was very despondent, he thought he was going to give it up, and his entire demeanor and all the dialogues that have been credited to him show that particular frame of mind. What does it show about Gratiano? That he has a temper, that he is taunting Shylock throughout. He also has a very strong anti-Jewish kind of a mindset. What does it show about why is the scene entirely important? Is because it's really the climax of the play. This is where the most important part of the play takes place. The real twist in this entire story comes in the trial scene. So in that sense, the trial scene is extremely important, and it also has a lot of, it generates a lot of interest for the viewer, the spectator, as well as for the reader in the manner in which the tables are turned on Shylock in this particular scene. So this scene is very important. So do look at this entire trial scene, the 5 parts in which we have done this entire trial scene. Look at it very, very carefully, and I am pretty sure you will not have any doubts. But since we are talking about Shakespearean language, so you need to read it many times in order to understand it. As I have been saying in many of the comments, pretty sure that at least one passage will definitely come from the trial scene. I mean, highly unlikely that they will leave out the trial scene. But again, obviously, you cannot take any chances. So you need to do the other scenes. Many of you have been writing, if we can pick and choose our scenes. So the trial scene is obviously the most important. Act 1, all the 3 scenes are very important because they introduce the 3 characters. Okay. Then the casket scenes involving the 3 suitors, very, very important. Prince of Aragon, Bassanio, and Prince of Morocco. Prince of Morocco, we have done it already. Then of course is the ring scene, which is the culmination. So these are the 4 different aspects which are very keen. There are the small scenes involving Lancelot and some of the other scenes involving Jessica, which you could probably ignore because you will, if you are looking to attempt only one from Merchant of Venice, you could probably take that kind of a risk. Entirely up to you. But trial scene, I cannot kind of overemphasize on its importance. So thank you very much for watching. Any doubts, write in the comment section. Thank you very much.